December 26, 1996. A wealthy family wakes up after Christmas morning, but before the day ends, America will be introduced to one of the most disturbing murder mysteries in its history. A 6-year-old beauty queen, a ransom note that made no sense, a crime scene filled with contradictions, and a killer who has never been identified. Nearly 3 decades later, the murder of JonBenét Ramsey remains unsolved. This is the story of the crime that shocked America before she became the center of a national mystery. JonBenét Ramsey seemed to have the perfect life. Born on August 6, 1990, in Atlanta, Georgia, she was the youngest child of John and Patsy Ramsey. John Ramsey was a successful businessman. Patsy Ramsey was a former beauty queen. Together, they lived in a massive home in Boulder, Colorado. To outsiders, the Ramseys looked like the American dream. Money, success, status, and a beautiful young daughter who was becoming a star in child beauty pageants. JonBenét quickly became known across local competitions, dressed in elaborate costumes, wearing makeup, performing routines far beyond her age. She won trophies, titles, and attention, lots of attention. But years later, many people would look back at those pageants and wonder, did the spotlight attract the wrong person? Or was the danger already much closer to home? December 25, 1996. The Ramsey family attended a Christmas party. Friends later described the evening as normal. Happy, relaxed. Nothing seemed unusual. Late that night, the family returned home. According to the parents, JonBenét was asleep when they arrived. She was carried to bed. The house grew quiet. The lights went out. And sometime during the night, something terrible happened. What exactly happened inside that house remains one of the greatest mysteries in American criminal history. At approximately 5:52 a.m., Patsy Ramsey made a terrifying discovery. A 3-page ransom note. The letter claimed JonBenét had been kidnapped. The kidnappers demanded exactly $118,000. An oddly specific amount, almost identical to John's recent work bonus. The note warned the family not to contact police. Yet moments later, police were called anyway. From the very beginning, investigators noticed something strange. Most ransom notes are short. This one was nearly 3 pages long. It appeared to have been written inside the Ramsey home, using paper and a pen belonging to the family. Even stranger, the author seemed familiar with details of John's finances. Questions immediately began to emerge. Who wrote the note? A kidnapper? An intruder? Or someone already inside the house? Police arrived expecting a kidnapping investigation. Instead, hours later, the case transformed into something far worse. Around 1 p.m., John Ramsey searched the basement. There, in a small storage room, he found JonBenét's body. She had been strangled. A cord had been tied around her neck. Her wrists were bound. A piece of duct tape covered her mouth. The 6-year-old beauty queen was dead. The discovery shocked everyone, but it also created a major problem. The crime scene had already been contaminated. Friends had entered the house. Family members had moved throughout the property. Evidence may have been disturbed, and critical clues may have been lost forever. Almost immediately, investigators faced criticism. Many experts later argued that mistakes made during the first few hours severely damaged the case. The Ramsey home was not properly secured. People entered and left. Potential evidence was touched. Possible fingerprints were compromised, and confusion spread among investigators. As media attention exploded, pressure mounted. Every decision was scrutinized. Every mistake became national news. The result was a case filled with uncertainty. And uncertainty creates doubt, the kind of doubt that can haunt an investigation for decades. As years passed, several major theories emerged. Theory number 1. An intruder entered the house. Supporters point to unidentified DNA evidence, possible signs of entry, and the belief that an outsider committed the crime. Theory number 2. Someone inside the home was responsible. Supporters argue the ransom note seemed staged. The note was written using materials from the house, and certain details appeared too personal. Theory number 3. An accident occurred inside the home, followed by a cover-up. This theory has been debated for years, but investigators never found enough evidence to prove it. Despite countless interviews, forensic examinations, television specials, books, and documentaries, no theory has ever fully explained every piece of evidence. As news of JonBenét's death spread across America, the story quickly became a media sensation. Television crews gathered outside the Ramsey home. Reporters worked around the clock. Every detail of the investigation became front-page news. Americans were fascinated by the mystery. A wealthy family, a child beauty queen, an unsolved murder. It was a combination unlike anything the country had seen before. Soon, the case was no longer being discussed only by detectives. It was being debated by millions of ordinary Americans. Talk shows analyzed evidence. News programs invited experts. Psychologists offered theories. Former detectives shared opinions. Everyone seemed to have a different answer, but all the attention came with a cost. The intense media coverage created enormous pressure on investigators, and in some ways, the public spectacle may have made finding the truth even more difficult. As the investigation continued, suspicion increasingly focused on the Ramsey family themselves. Many investigators struggled to understand the ransom note. Others questioned certain statements made by family members. The public watched every interview closely, looking for clues, looking for inconsistencies, looking for answers. John and Patsy Ramsey repeatedly denied any involvement. They maintained that an intruder had entered the home and murdered their daughter. Yet public opinion remained divided. Some believed the family was innocent. Others believed critical information was being hidden. The controversy followed the Ramseys for years. No matter where they went, questions about JonBenét followed. And despite decades of scrutiny, no criminal charges were ever filed against either parent in connection with the murder. In 1998, a grand jury was convened to review evidence in the case. For more than a year, witnesses testified. Investigators presented findings. Experts examined evidence. The process remained largely secret. Then something unexpected happened. The district attorney announced that no charges would be filed. For years, the public believed the grand jury had chosen not to indict anyone. But later revelations told a more complicated story. Documents released years afterward suggested that jurors had actually voted in favor of certain indictments. Yet prosecutors ultimately decided not to move forward. The decision sparked new controversy, new questions, and new debate. What exactly had the grand jury seen? And why was the case still unresolved? Nearly 3 decades have passed since JonBenét Ramsey's death. Yet the case refuses to fade away. New documentaries continue to be produced. New books continue to be written. Online communities still analyze evidence, frame by frame, word by word, theory by theory. For many investigators, the case represents a cautionary tale, a reminder of how critical the first hours of a murder investigation can be. For others, it represents hope, because advances in forensic science continue to evolve. Cases once considered impossible to solve have been reopened and cracked decades later. Perhaps one day, the same will happen here. Perhaps one day, a single piece of evidence will finally reveal what happened inside that Boulder home on Christmas night. Until then, the murder of JonBenét Ramsey remains one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. In the years that followed, advances in forensic science brought new hope. Investigators re-examined DNA evidence. New testing methods became available. Supporters of the intruder theory argued that unidentified male DNA pointed toward an unknown suspect. Others questioned whether the DNA was connected to the murder at all. The debate continues to this day. As technology improves, many believe answers may still be hidden within the evidence, waiting to be uncovered. The murder of JonBenét Ramsey became more than a criminal investigation. It became a cultural obsession. Millions followed every development. Television networks dedicated endless hours to the mystery. True crime books filled store shelves. Documentaries revisited the evidence again and again. Yet the central question remains unanswered. Who killed JonBenét Ramsey? A stranger? Someone she knew? Or someone investigators never considered? Nearly 30 years later, The mystery remains unsolved, and America is still searching for the truth. JonBenét Ramsey was only 6 years old. Her killer has never been identified. Her case remains open, and one of the most famous mysteries in American history remains exactly that, a mystery. If you enjoy deep dives into the darkest and most fascinating cases in history, subscribe to the channel, because some stories may be old, but their secrets are still alive.